I just want to give you a quick update on this 1972 Chevrolet Nova we've been working on. All right, as some of you know, these 68 to 74 Novas have gotten really hot over the past few years. Always a cool car, but they've really gained some traction and become really neat muscle cars, Restomods that are getting a lot of attention. And people are building really high-end cars. So this is a great driver. It's got some cool sentimental value, and we want to just give you an update on what we've been doing to it. We'll start at the back and work our way towards the front. We're doing a complete new wire harness, you know, with plugs, sockets, ground straps, battery cables, and everything. We've got all the wiring ripped out of the trunk area right now, really out of the entire car. You can see here, one of the cool things we did was a Detroit Speed mini tub kit. So that allows us to run a much wider wheel and tire in the back to get power planted, get it look good, and so forth. You can see here, that kind of shows. So we did a brand new 9-inch rear end in this thing from RideTech. It's narrowed 5 inches, and we also accompanied it with the RideTech 4-link kit in the back. So the wheels here look great. So they are a Billet Specialties G-Spec, full polished lip, full polished center. Behind those, you can see we've got Wilwood brakes. So these are 13-inch drilled and slotted rotors with a 4-piston caliper. They are really good. The fitment's great. So we've got room right here, and we've got room inside as well. So this is, again, a 19 by 11-inch wheel. So 19 diameter, 11 inches wide, which is a pretty good size wheel for these cars. And the only way we could achieve that was with that Detroit Speed mini tub kit. The tires we put, they're 305, 35. So 305 wide is a pretty good size. It looks really good from the back. It's gonna have plenty of meat on the ground, and we're really stoked on how this turned out. So work our way forward. We've got some of the interior pulled out. We're gonna end up pulling some more out. We're going to line this with HushMat, which is our sound and heat deadening. It's similar to the Dynamats, the Boom Mats, etc., where it's just adhesive on one side, and you put it on with a roller, and it sticks to your surface, keeps it from deflecting, the metal moving, so it keeps it a lot quieter inside and also keeps it cooler or warmer depending on what time of year it is. And we will have probably another video kind of showcasing that here soon. Again, this was a older restoration. The owner's grandfather actually built this car back in, I think, the 80s or 90s. Painted it and everything. So this paint is that old. It's held up pretty good. We'll probably end up buffing it and just kind of making it shine, brighten it up a little bit more. Really cool car. Work our way towards the front. You can see here, again, the Billet Specialties. So we did an 18 by 9 on the front of this thing. It's got a 255/40 tire on it. So again, fitment's really good. We used our verified fabrication wheel fitment tool, which you guys saw in a previous video. Brake wise, same thing. We've got a 13-inch rotor, drilled and slotted, and then a 6-piston caliper on the front. So plenty of stopping power, no more than this car weighs. These 6-piston, 4-piston, 13-inch brakes are gonna do really, really well. And then as far as the master cylinder, we went with a Wilwood manual brake setup, so there's no power booster on this thing. But Billet Specialties G-Spec full polished Wilwood brakes. We did the RideTech front coilover suspension and their true turn system, which allows us to run a larger, wider wheel and tire without having any kind of clearance issues, tie rods and whatnot. Back to the interior, you know, I said we've got it ripped out. We're putting a brand new American Autowire harness in this thing, along with Dakota digital gauges and a vintage air system to keep this dude, I guess, cool in the summer and hot in the winter. If you move along here, this car came with a 350 small block Chevrolet, made it to a turbo 350, and that's how it's staying. But we have dressed it up substantially to bring it into, I guess, 2025, make it look a lot better. We tried to tone it down. So the engine was painted black. We kind of repainted most of the engine in the car. We dressed it up. These Holley finned air cleaner and valve covers look really good. Painted the Holley intake. Again, we were converting this to EFI as well. So we used a tank sink EFI tank with a drop-in fuel pump module. We got the Holley intake manifold. This is drilled with injector, so it's multi-port. We built this cool little crossover right here, and then to finish off the front of the engine, we've got the black Billet Specialties front runner serpentine kit. So these come really nice. It comes with the AC compressor, water pump, alternator, a Type 2 power steering pump, all the brackets, all the pulleys, stainless ARP hardware. You can't really beat it, especially to dress something up. And also, you know, the serpentine system is nice compared to the V-belt that you don't have to worry about belt squealing. You don't have to worry about coming out and adjusting your AC, adjusting your alternator and so forth to tighten those belts up. This has got a tensioner just like a new car. So you set it, leave it, and take off and enjoy your car. Again, we are just trying to kind of toned this engine bay down a little bit. So it had initially just a chrome steel air cleaner, it had chrome steel valve covers, and just factory style brackets and whatnot on the front. Had a chrome radiator cover. So we're just going with black on most everything, toning that down. The headers we actually ended up blasting, and we coated them with Zybar, which is a high temperature coating. It's good up to 2,000 degrees. We went with a silver just to kind of contrast that and bring some of the silver out in the fins and so forth. But again, we're just going to finish up the vintage air install in here, and then we'll be able to throw that inner fender back in. One other cool thing we did, or a couple other things that we did under here, was you can see this thing had a mechanical engine-driven fan at first, and so we built a shroud for it and put this electric fan on it. We added these little flaps here for when you're going down the road to make sure that air can escape, but put a big fan with a heavy-duty motor. This thing should cool this small block very nicely. We built these transmission cooler lines. You can see they're hard line all the way back, go on top of the frame, and then they go back into the transmission. And then one of the other upgrades that we do quite often, I recommend, is a steering box. So we put a Borgeson steering box in this thing, which valve differently and also has a quicker ratio. So it gives you a lot more steering feedback, makes the thing handle a lot better. It really complements the rest of that suspension. It'll make this thing a really, really nice driving car. It'll be night and day different from how it was from the factory. So that's kind of where we're at on this car. It's got a bunch of cool pieces. The stance has turned out killer. I'm really excited about how this turned out. You know, it's orange with a white interior. We're from Tennessee, so it goes along with that very nicely. And I think it's going to clean up really well, be a very good presentable car, and something he plans on driving and enjoying for a long time. So again, a lot of cool stuff. We can't wait to get this on the ground, get it fired up, drive it. You should see it around this summer at some local cruise-ins and car shows around here. We may have it at a few shows ourselves just to kind of show it off. But yeah, 72 Nova definitely has more of a Restomod Pro Touring look now than it did. It came in with, you know, the steel wheels sitting way too high, and we've done a lot to kind of help get this thing brought up to 2025. So appreciate you checking our video out. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll have more content for you soon.